What is up, everybody? It is Wick here. I'm out hitting some garage sales. In this case, a barn sale. Hit a lot of barns in this video, actually. It was a lot of sales out in the country in a little community. Didn't have any cell phone service, which can be a problem, but at the same time, if you know what you're looking for, you don't really need it. It's certain items where you're like, well, it costs a lot. I don't really know if it's valuable. Right there was a Sears bug zapper, one of the very large ones. Talked about that a few years ago. They're worth over $100. It was only $5, but it was so dirty, like absolutely filthy when I looked at it. It's very large, and I'm like, I just don't want to deal with this, not even for the money. So I left it. As you can see here, there's lots of old, kind of rusty barn stuff, which sells pretty good at flea markets if you can get it cheap. Prices were kind of random. The guy was just throwing out prices when you asked him what things were priced because he didn't really have anything set up. I got a few things there. Of course, I'll show you everything in the haul part of the video. So if you don't like watching the garage sale footage, you can just skip to that, see everything. Here's a garage sale. Got some plug and plays. An eagle there. Some of those like cast iron eagles can be good. That one wasn't a particularly great one. I think it was a newer one that has just been painted or something. Over here, I see a baseball bat, and this is a pretty good bat, and it was also pretty high price. I think it was like $45 they wanted for it, so I just ended up leaving that. It also had some rattling going on with it, so definitely don't want to buy it in that condition, so just ended up leaving that. Here's something I already bought and sold. This is a sealed Durabrand portable CD player. I found and sold these before. There's no price on it. Guy told me $2, so gonna take it for $2 for sure. I believe I sold it for like 40. Seems like I sold it for 40 on eBay recently. It was already been in a what sold video because I'm behind on getting this garage sale and thrifting videos out because I've been so busy. I also don't like to put out, 5 or 6 thrifting garage sale videos in a row because I know some people like the what sold videos, some people like the BOLA videos, so I just try to, balance everything out what I'm putting out. But if you do enjoy the videos, don't forget to hit that like button for me. I'd really appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. Here's some coats I was pretty excited to see, but the prices, some of these were like $50, $75 for some of them, and they weren't that great. So I'm like, well, no, can't buy those. Some interesting looking bikes. Bikes, something I don't really buy or sell or even mess with. I don't know if I've ever bought and sold a bike. I'm definitely missing out. I know. Probably passed some good ones. Just something I've never really dealt with, never been experienced with. Hats, though, I love looking through those. One day I'm going to, start messing with bikes more. Since I don't sell a lot locally, I just prefer to, buy things that I can flip on eBay. Bikes are a little more challenging to ship. I know you can get bike boxes, and I've seen people sell them, so just something that's a little bit blind for me. Let me know in the comments if you sell bikes. I'd love to hear about it. People find some really good ones. This garage sale was looking pretty good at first until I started looking at the stuff and I wasn't finding anything really. All these clothes, I'm like, oh, there's got to be some vintage gold here, right? Unfortunately, the more I looked through it, I couldn't really find anything. There's like a jersey there, just kind of a basic thing. It's not worth much. There is this like track suit there that's like from the 70s or 80s, but it was destroyed. So when I saw that stuff, I figured maybe there's an old band t-shirt in here or something, but unfortunately I looked through all the clothing, didn't find anything. Here's a Bill Clinton t-shirt. I'm like, ooh, this is not vintage, is it? I'm like, nah, the tag is newer. So put that back. Even if it was vintage, I don't think it'd be worth that much. So just end up passing on that stuff. And down here we see some shoes, some boots. I'm like, hey, these are some pretty nice brands, but the condition, once they start having tears on the inside there or broken parts chipped off of them, I pass on them. If they're just dirty and kind of worn, you can clean those up with the Doc Martens Wonder Blossom stuff. It's pretty easy. Like those are Ariat boots, but they just had too much wear for me to want to deal with. And honestly, I still got totes and totes of shoes and boots that are that need cleaned. So here is well, it was a big barn, but it wasn't that big of a sale and wasn't a whole lot of good stuff. Unfortunately, I believe I turned off the camera before I found what I found in here. I was going down on this side, and there was only one other guy there, and I just turned around here. That table that he was standing at, I picked up a Bose system, and when I went to pay, there was a knife I picked up. They had up there by the spot where you pay, so you'll be seeing that in the haul. Some good pickups there. I've already sold the Bose system too. It was a fast flip when you can find those. Here's some like cookware, Hell's Kitchen stuff. It's new. I did a quick look up on that. It was not worth picking up, unfortunately. What else do we have here? Some dishes, a board game logo. See that board game everywhere. One pair of shoes. There's some golf balls over there. Usually I don't mess with golf balls unless they are new. I've picked them up before. Here's a box down here. Board games. I'm like, maybe there's something good in here, right? And love digging in boxes under tables. Get your heart rate going. You never know what you're going to find, right? And for me, one of my favorite things about reselling is the hunt. Digging through these boxes, hoping to find gold. Unfortunately, no, nothing. This sale, I spot this vise, and I've had a few good vise sales this year, like $140+. So I see this one, I'm like, this one's not that great. It's $10. Here's some Stanley planes, and they're newer, but they're $8 a piece. I'm like, I can make some money on these. I got a bunch at Salvation Army, and I started refurbishing them this past year, and I sold one for about $200 and had some other decent sales on them. So people will buy them. Even if you saw there, the handle was kind of wobbly. They're still buying for parts as well. So not a whole lot of money in those particular ones, but I figure I'll just go ahead and buy them. There's a box with some fishing bobbers. Nothing that looked great. I never seem to find any old fishing lures anymore. There's just so many people looking for them. It's kind of like video games around here. Everyone's going looking for fishing stuff. Here's a vintage hat that kind of looked cool. I ended up picking it up. It was 25 cents. Didn't grab it there, but figured I might as well. Some older tools here. And I did pick up a couple things here. I've already sold that one Yankee drill I picked up there. And then here I see a couple marine compasses, and I've sold those in the past for decent money. I see one of them is Davis Instruments, which is a brand that makes some really high-end weather stuff, compasses too, I guess. So I wasn't getting service. One was $10, one was $5. At that price, I'm pretty sure I can at least get my money back. So buy those. And they are pretty good. I'll make some decent profit on them, so happy to pick them up. What else? Got some boots down here, just kind of like the rubber work boots. I think electricians use them. What else? Anything else I picked up here? I'm not sure. Just kind of looking everywhere. As always, let me know if you see something that I may have missed. Now, when I see stuff like this, a lot of people, they don't like to see this at garage sales, but I do. Here's some Monster High dolls, and I just, I pick them up when they're like $1, like these were. I sold one recently for $140. I picked up for $1. So I'm not good at spotting which ones are super valuable right off. So when they're just $1, you can always sell them at a lot. But yeah, I picked them up. Found some great things today. Let's jump into it. I'll show you everything I found. This someone that likes, so I don't know what they look like exactly, except they're supposed to look creepy.
Yeah, they are Monster High.
Check it out. Got a great little haul here. Let's start back here with this Bose speaker system that I got at a barn sale. Actually got a lot of stuff in barns in this haul. This was $25, which is a pretty good deal for a Bose speaker system like this. Should be to sell this one for $150, maybe $175. It helps a lot having the volume control knob here, which I think would probably sell for $50 or $60 by itself. Right next to it, I got this Black & Decker automatic jar opener. This is the older model. I found 3 or 4 of these new. I only buy them if they're new at this point. And I got this one for $10 at a sale. Didn't even plan on going to a sale. I was on my way home and there's just a random sale on the side of the road, so stopped and that was there. I sell these on Amazon, new for about $100 to $120. I think the last one I sold new for, so there's definitely some profit there. I think new they sell okay on eBay, but they definitely don't do very well used. I'd prefer it to be the newer model because the newer model could get close to $200 new. Here's some LL Bean shoes. I've been finding a decent amount of LL Bean shoes recently, and they've been selling pretty quickly, these kinds, so pick these up for $5. They're in good condition overall. Price them around $30. They should sell. Here's a cool find I got out of a barn also. Deep in the country, I didn't even have signal to look up anything, but I recently picked up an Umco aluminum tackle box at Goodwill. I remember seeing a listing with this little fly tackle box, and it was adding quite a bit to the price. So at $3, I picked it up. There's even some tackle in here I haven't even really looked at. Anything good? Looks like an old frog. I can't see if there's a name on it. In pretty bad condition, even if it is rare. Doesn't matter because I saw these selling for about $30 at least. So for $3, it's going to be some good profit. Found this at a garage sale. This is just some old traveling magnetic backgammon set. Came from Woolworth, and I actually remember having this as a kid. Never learned to play the game, but probably got it, in the 80s at Woolworth. So at 75 cents, I just bought it just for the nostalgia. I think I saw one when I looked it up, either listed for 30 or one that sold for 30 like it. I think I'm going to put it on eBay for like $30 just to see if it will sell. There's quite a few traveling backgammon sets that sell for high dollar, but a lot of those are the rare antique ones that have the Bakelite chips and stuff like that. So I don't know, at 75 cents, I'm not missing out if it doesn't sell, but I'll price it 30, see if anyone wants it. Forgot to mention this hat up here on the Black & Decker jar opener, but it was only 25 cents. It was kind of a unique, cool looking vintage hat. I can't even remember if I looked this up. I don't think it really has probably any real value to sell on eBay, but I mentioned before when I get hats like that for a quarter, I've just been hoarding them up. Probably got about 500 hats now that I got dirt cheap like that one day I'll go to a flea market or something, try to sell them for like $1 or $2 a piece, or just sell them in a big lot. At a quarter, I like to pick them up just in case they are something rare. At the same sale I got the hat, I got some of these marine compasses. Now this is Davis Instruments, and I talked about Davis Instruments in a video where they make some weather stations that sell for hundreds of dollars, some over $1,000. So I knew the brand was pretty good. Like I said, I wasn't getting any service. So at $5, I was just going to pick it up. It looks like this one's pretty good. Seems like it was like $30. I'll probably try selling that for. Then we got this Aqua Meter one, I paid $10 for, and this one has the stand and everything in there. It looks like it's in pretty good condition. I can't remember, I think this was like $30 or $40 I can try to sell it for, so some profit there in the two compasses. I also picked up this blind just because it had the original box. I forget exactly what it is. It is a Yankee number 41 automatic drill. And I'm glad I picked it up. It looks like, I'm having trouble remembering the comps exactly. I think this was like $20 to $40 I was able to sell it for, with the box and being in good condition. So should make some okay profit on that as well. Picked up this old metal plane Goody Toys for $1. I think at most this is probably worth $15. Some of these are very collectible though. Then for $2, I picked up a sealed Durabrand CD player. I've sold these quite often over the years. I forgot to check Amazon. Usually I get like $50 or $60 for these on Amazon. At least I used to back in the day. But Durabrand, not the kind of brand you want to find. You want to find a Sony Discman, where you could get maybe a couple $100, maybe $300 or $400 depending on the model. But still, on eBay it's $30, $40, no problem. I might end up selling it on Amazon for more, but easy to list, easy to ship, those kind of things for sure when you get them cheap. Found this at a barn sale also. This is a vintage Leatherman multi-tool. I've had these in Bolo videos before because you see a multi-tool like this, you might not think it has much value. This one is an older vintage one. I looked up the number there and I saw some with the case selling for around $80, $85. Since this was in such good condition, I'll probably price this at least $80. Should be able to get a sale. You can see there I paid $10 for it, so paid up a little bit for it. I bought it blind, so I'm glad that I had done research on these in the past, right? That's what it's all about. I knew it was going to be worth picking up for $10. Found this in a box. This is just a pizza flag for the 1989 Ninja Turtles pizza thrower. This will sell probably for $15. I'm going to hold on to it. I think I have a pizza thrower since I've been collecting old Ninja Turtles toys. Pretty good little find there. I picked up this controller for $1. It's a PlayStation 3 controller. It had a weird design. It's not official, but at $1 I picked it up anyway. It's in good condition. I don't think it's worth a whole lot, maybe $15, but I use it to, bundle with systems or something that I sell. So at $1 I'm picking it up, and I got this for 75 cents. This is some vintage alien figure. I just bought this blind as well, no big loss at 75 cents. I wanted it because it was vintage. I saw the date was like 96 or something. Street Players. Looked it up. It doesn't look bad. Around $20, free shipping. I can probably sell that for. The more I look at it, the more I like it. It might end up on the shelf upstairs with some of my other collectibles. Then I got some Monster High doll. At least I think they're Monster High dolls. They were $1 a piece. If they are, they're newer. One of these might be like Rainbow High or something. Like this one looks like it could be Rainbow High. Anyway, I have a ton of these to sell I picked up in the past year. So I'm either going to add these to the lot or sell them individually if they happen to be worth a lot. I didn't look them up. Just sold a Monster High doll recently for $140. So it's why I pick them up when I see them for $1, because I paid $1 for that one as well. Here are some sealed Mega Blocks. These are John Deere farm tractor and a John Deere bale support unit. Got $10 into these. I'll probably sell them together for like $60 or $70. I might sell them separate, but should make some good profit on those. Got some more barn stuff. Now, I've talked about these Craftsman planes before, how they can be worth hundreds of dollars if you find, some of the rare ones, some of the really old ones. I saw these and I'm like, oh, I know these are newer. Somewhere between like the 40s and 60s, possibly even 70s. But since I got a bunch of them and been selling them, I think the best one I sold was close to $200. I did not research these yet, but based on the experience I've been gaining, I think I can still make, $30 to $40 selling them both together. People refurbish these. I do have $8 a piece into them, so probably estimate about $30 profit. Also talked about vices. I picked this one up really quick, this Fuller vise, and I figured it wasn't going to be great. Again, I did not have service. And there was another guy there that was walking around the table eyeing it. I kind of just grabbed it real quick and put it in my hand, along with the planes, because, again, I didn't know the value. It looks like, I'm going to get my money back and make a little bit on this. Maybe $15, but certainly not one of the $150, $200 ones like some of the ones I sold recently. I also got this old Badger jack, and I picked up a jack like this at a sale like the week prior, and it ended up being a pretty good one. So at $5, again, I just picked this up. They're rusty, they're dirty. The comps for some of these Badger ones, I could not find the actual one because they have numbers on them for this one, but some of them, anywhere from $20 to $100+ I see some of these sell for. In this condition, I'm just going to put it on there for $30 probably plus shipping. I'm not looking to make a lot of money, something like this dirty, unless I find that it's worth a lot more, like it's rare. I'll have to do a 3 years history check on that, but not bad for finding some of these old barn tools. Also got this Handycam Video 8. Paid $5 for this. This is the second one I found this month. It's also one of the lower budget ones. It still sells for around $100 in working condition, and of course parts, I always make a little bit of money if they don't work. So here's another thing I bought just because of me talking about it. This is Starrett. Somebody told me it's not Starrett. I thought it was pronounced Starrett. It's pronounced Starrett. But this is a transit level, and was $38. And I was looking at it, and the guy said, I'll come lower. I said, well, will you do 30? He said, sure. I talked about how, some of the Starrett stuff sells like this for hundreds and thousands of dollars even. So I was hoping it was really good. It's not great, but I did see some comps where they sold for over $100. But what's interesting is this was also in here, these clamps. And these clamps are actually worth $50 to $60 by themselves. So almost worth more than the instrument here. So I'm going to sell the clamps separate. I'll probably sell this for about $60, $70 plus shipping. So having $30 into all of it, going to make some good profit. And then finally, I got this Spartan snowsuit, and I was looking at it at a garage sale. I'm like, that might be good. I stepped over, I started doing some research on my phone. Of course, I wasn't getting a signal. So I'm like, well, let me find out how much she wants for it. I asked her and she said 50 cents. I'm like, well, for 50 cents, I don't need to do any research, right? Let's just buy this thing. Looks pretty good. I saw one sold for $50 plus shipping, and currently there's only one listed that looks like this for $80 plus shipping. So probably going to price this one $50 plus shipping. Should do all right on it. But there it is, everybody. That is my haul for today. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Also, if you could hit that like button for me on the way out, make sure you're subscribed. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, flipping_junk. And this has been Wick. Till next time.